Hi, so in this video we're going to focus on the place portal functionality so we can spawn the portals in. And in order to do that, well, I want you to first open up your, let's see, I need to check something. Open up your weapons component, but before we do that, I need to quickly check something. Yeah. Alright, so what you can do is open up your weapons component. You can find it in the, let's see, first person folder. You have blueprints, and then you have the weapons component. This is the one that came with the package we used for our project, the template for first person. So this is the first person template asset or component that came with it. Open it up and go to the begin play here. And what we need to do here is, I'm gonna go to the very end of it, and we can do get actor of class. We're gonna get a portal. Let's see, BP portal. So in the very begin play, we're getting a reference to a portal that exists in the scene, if any. Promote it to a variable and call it portal, or BP portal. Alright, so if you go down, further down, you can see that there are some implemented logic here. This is really for spawning the first person projectile. I'm not really gonna use that projectile because I feel like we don't need to. So I'm gonna just alt click this to disconnect, and I'm gonna drag this. I'm gonna drag this down here below the play the montage that contains a first person fire animation, and we can do a sequence here, connect it here. I'm gonna connect this first one to this one. I'm gonna just disconnect this because we are gonna use this, so I'm just gonna do this. We're gonna play that montage, why not? We can always remove that later on if you want to. And then I'm gonna do a line trace. Line trace by channel, connect it here. So how are we gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna do it from the very center of the player. We can also take a look at what we're doing here really. And we could actually copy some things from here. I'm gonna copy this to speed things up. And we are getting the socket location. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting the weapon socket location, and then we have the projectile offset here. So we need to test things out. I'm gonna just remove those. We don't need that for now. I need to test to see how it behaves, but really we're getting the socket location here as it says. That's the name of it. It should come from the mesh itself, or the skeleton, or this, let's see, the scene. It says the scene component, ammo. Get the world-space socket or bone location. This is relevant to the weapon itself, so it should have some kind of skeletal mesh reference. Let's see if we can show inherited variables, and if we can find something with relevant to mesh. We have this skeletal mesh asset. We have this in inherited. If you select this here and click on show inherited variables, we have something called skeletal mesh. I believe this is for the weapon. I'm hard to see everything here, but it seems like it's for the weapon. And then we are getting the ammo socket here. And so let's see what we can do from here. I'm gonna do this. Let's just get the player camera manager and get camera location. I'm not sure I'm gonna use these ones for now. I'm gonna do something similar to get camera location, and we are gonna do it from the camera, and we are gonna add this. No, not this one. I'm gonna do a plus. And then get active forward vector. Let's see, or maybe we can do get camera location plus, I'm gonna get the camera rotation. Make from, let's see if I can. And when you have the rotation, I'm gonna, well, what we can do is just recombine this and get forward vector from the rotation. That's the X component, and I'm gonna multiply this with a value of, it's a high value. I'm gonna change it, right click and change it to a float, and I'm just gonna type 50,000. Connect this to here. So our start location will be the camera location, but our end location will be this one. Is our camera location plus the camera rotations forward vector multiplied with 50,000 to gain some range. Connect it here. I'm gonna do a draw debug for 1 frame. Let's do for duration. I'm just gonna test this out and see how it behaves. Let's just move these down. And I'm gonna do new editor. Not bad. We are actually spawning in the very middle, and that's exactly what I want. I'm pretty happy with this, really, and yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. It's very much in the middle of the screen, so let's go with it. I'm gonna delete this down here. It doesn't need to be perfect. As far as we are like doing this in the middle of the screen, I'm gonna set this to none again. So now we are line tracing and playing the montage. We are not really playing any sound. I don't think we should do that either, unless you wanna hear a lot of sound. So I'm gonna skip that part. But what we're going to do is next is we are doing a line trace, and let's see. So what I'm gonna do one more of these, and let's just move this a little bit more forward to keep this organized. All right. All right, so I'm gonna do a reroute node here as well. Okay, so now we are playing the montage, we are doing line trace, and then we are getting this out hit here. And let's just promote this to a variable. I'm gonna do this, promote to a variable. I'm gonna call it out hit. So we can now access it here. And then I'm gonna get this here. I'm gonna break. And I'm gonna hold down the B key and left click. Connect this to blocking hit. Connect these together. So really what we wanna do here is to spawn a portal. And we do have this portal. here reference. Let's see if we can do convert to a validated get and do this. And I'm gonna move these down a bit. And if this portal is, well, if this is valid, then we can just do a set. There's a set location. I think I called it something with jump. Yeah, jump portal. And we want to jump it to the hit location. So I'm gonna set this here. And then we have the normal. Let's see, normal. If you don't know what a normal is, let me just show you what a normal is if you don't know that. But oops, sorry. If you imagine a plane, let's see if I can show it here. I'm just gonna add a temporary plane here. All right. If you look at the plane, you can see its face here, right? So a normal would be an arrow placed on this plane that points outwards. Okay, so you could imagine this blue arrow here to be a normal. So what's the purpose of this? Well, it shows the direction it's facing. That's the good thing with a normal. So it's a vector placed on that. Usually it's a 1 unit length. It's a vector placed on this plane and it's facing outwards. So it shows us where it is facing. So what I can do is make use of this to get its rotation, so I know which direction it's facing, which direction this normal is facing, or should I say this whatever object we just hit. Let's see here. So we need to target rotation. Well, I'm gonna get the normal or impact. I'm gonna get the normal. I'm gonna do a make from X. We're gonna make a rotation from X and connect it here. And let's see how this currently works. I'm gonna do a print string here, and then not valid, just so I know what's happening here. Let's try again. Okay. And I believe nothing is currently happening, and that is because let's see, we are not even getting here. I'm gonna put this for duration again, and let's see. Port here is not valid. I'm gonna try again. Okay. I'm gonna do a print string here as well. Oh, by the way, I think we need to, let's see if I go to the event grab. Oh, sorry, we need to call place portal. I accidentally called the wrong version. Sorry about that. We still need our print strings though. It's called place portal, not jump portal. Jump portal is for teleportation. We are gonna place one. We can choose whether it's orange or not. I'm gonna connect these together. This is the normal for the rotation, and then we need a location. And then we can choose whether it's a blue or orange portal. So I'm gonna check that. And I'm gonna type place portal and connect these. Let's try again. All right, seems to work fairly fine now. Okay, Currently, you can see that we can place it in strange locations though, and we might maybe fix that later on, or I will show you at least how you can fix that. So we cannot really just spawn it anywhere we want, because really we want to spawn it maybe on locations where it does have enough space to be spawned on. So we don't want like half of it to cover a bit of this stone here, but the other half be in the air like that. It's really up to you, but there is ways to check if the entire back of the portal will really cover that ground it's being spawned on. But yeah, it works. It works for now. So let's start like this. We cannot place a blue portal. And if I do this and try again, we are spawning the red portal. So as you can see, spawning blue and red works just fine, okay? So we just need to make sure that we can do both. So how are we gonna do that? Well, let's see. Let's go to the BP portal. We are using place portal, BP first person character. Let's see. I think we need to go to our, I'm looking for the where we are triggering this. Let's see. 1 second, please. I'm trying to find something here. This is for look, this is for movement, this is for jump. I think it's in the combat component, really. Yes, it is. Let's go to the combat component. I was looking for this actually. I don't know if we are having it here, maybe not. Oh, maybe we are not. Okay. So if you look in the combat component, we are currently having this input action shoot, and it's tracing, doing its work, but we cannot really differ between, you know, whether we want to have the red one or the blue one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to right click and do left mouse button. There is a built-in function for that, so we don't really need to create one input action for this. I'm gonna do a one for right mouse button. I'm gonna do a print string to just, you know, see things are working, and I'm gonna call this left mouse. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna call it right mouse. Let's run this again. Left mouse, portal, right mouse, left mouse. Alright, it seems to do the trick. It's reacting. So what I'm gonna do is just, I'm gonna disconnect this and try this one more time. Left mouse, right mouse, left mouse, right mouse. So now we can differ between right and left mouse buttons. So what are we gonna do now? Well, as a mini challenge, I want you to try to connect these. If you look at my code, you can see that we're having a sequence. First we play the montage, then we do a line trace, we save the result here. And then after saving the result, we are taking advantage of that so we can take a look at what the hit location is and the normal impact. But how can we possibly differ between the red and blue portals here? It's really a matter of ticking this box, if you look here. But I want you to implement this with respect to left and right mouse buttons. So you can take advantage of these buttons here and connect these together. See if you can figure this one out. It shouldn't really be that hard, but try this as a mini challenge. And pause the video and please try now. Okay, hopefully you did well. As I said, it was quite easy. So what I'm gonna do is we could, there are different ways of doing this, but what we can do to be a little bit more flexible is I'm gonna do a custom event and do spawn portal, and maybe we can make sure that this one is taking a boolean. Let's call it blue slash, let's just call it blue, or let's go with blue slash red, or blue slash orange, as I sometimes call it. So let's do that. So true means blue and false means red. So what I'm gonna do is connect this here, spawn portal, and what we're gonna do is just take advantage of this. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, or what we can do instead, let's just remove that. We can create a variable instead. I think that's even easier. I'm gonna click here and untick this so we get much less information here. I'm gonna create a boolean called blue, just to be more consistent, just blue slash red. So true means blue, false means red. And whenever we click these, we are gonna set this accordingly. And I'm gonna do here, left mouse button. I think we can go with a blue one for left, and we can leave this as at false for the right mouse button. False as in red. And now we can just run the spawn portals here, the spawn portal event. So I'm gonna do a spawn portal. Like this. I'm gonna connect these two here. So we are running this event now, and it's doing all of this, and we are spawn tracing, and then we come down here, and then we come to this here. So it says blue slash orange. So really, I'm just gonna put this in here. Oh, what just happened? Let's see if we can make this even look better. I'm gonna delete that, not valid, and leave it here. Let's see. Let's see if we can just tidy this up. Yeah, okay, I think it looks better. So we are having a variable to keep track of whether this is the red or blue one, and then we are running this function using spawn portal, which we use down here, and then it will use that variable to feed it to the place portal. And looking at place portal, you can see that if this is true, we are using D2, and if you look at the viewport, D2 is the blue one. So true means blue one. True means D2, which is the blue one, and false means the red one. So I think this is correct. We just need to test this out. Compile and save. So let's just try one more time. And as you can see, it works just fine. I can place my portals wherever I want. Let's just place one here. I'm gonna place like this, and I'm gonna place one here. No, that didn't do well. Let's place one here. So really, you can see that if I look through here, I'm seeing what the other portal is really showing. I'm gonna just go through it, and you can see that it's really, you can see that those cubes here and everything, so it's working just fine. And just place one here. Let's say I want to go to the other side, so I'm just gonna spawn one there. Let's just go through it. There you go, I'm on the other side, and I can go back again, and so on and so forth. So it's working just perfectly fine. Spawn on the floor, What just happened? I think I just fell through the floor. Yeah, I did, and I came out from here. Alright, so far so good. And if you want sound after all, what we can do is we could add it here, why not? After the place portal. So I'm just gonna go back and copy this, Control C and Control V, and it says spawn place sound at location rather, not spawn. I'm gonna connect it here. Connect it like this. I'm gonna delete that string, we don't really need it. And also I'm gonna remove this debug stuff here, the debug drawing lines, we don't need that either. I know it's working. Or if you want, you can keep it so you can see where you're aiming, but I don't think that's necessary. And really in here it says it wants the location, so I'm gonna, maybe we can do a reroute node here and drag it from here in here. I'm gonna do another reroute node, place it down here, double click again, like this. It's already having the fire weapon sound, so I'm gonna try one more time and see what happens. Okay, now we are having sound. I think that's a little bit more interesting. So I'm gonna go through that. And there you go, I'm on the other side. So now you can see that you can really place the portals wherever you want. And it's updating live whatever is happening in the mirror, and yeah. So as I said, you can place them really wherever you want almost and keep using them, but really I'm not gonna go too much into detail on how you can check whether those portals are having enough space to be spawned on a specific place. I want you to be able to place them wherever you want. But I'm gonna quickly just show you, for example, where you can configure your own channels if you wanted to create your own channels. Because having your own channel means that, I'm gonna show you. If you go to the edit, project settings, let's just search for channel. And you can see, let's see, we can have our trace channels and collision channels. Let's see, we can have our trace channels and object channels really. What we could do is add a trace channel, and then we could make use of it so we can make sure to only spawn the portals on specific objects that are really a part of this channel. We are not really going to get into details onto doing that really. That's not really our main focus in the course. But if you wanted to, you can create your own collision channels. I consider this project to be intermediate, so maybe you're already aware of what I'm talking about, but I still want to mention this. Okay, so I'm going to close this down. And one other thing we could do, really, if you want to implement this and take this even further, what you can do is make sure to check if we have enough space to spawn in a portal. I think you can, there are really several ways of doing this. One way is if you go to the viewport, you can see that this is the size of the portal. D1 is the red one and D2 is the blue one. What you could do is have scene components at the very end of the portal. So one to the right, one to the left, one to the bottom, and one to the top and one to the bottom. And then you could do a trace from them downwards or wherever you want to spawn that portal. And with that trace, you could try to check if you get any hits. And if you do get a hit with all of them, it means that you have enough space. So maybe you could do something like this. Now you have a trace, and you could add this here, and then you could add another one here, and then another one up here, and another one at the very bottom. And then you could implement functionality to, trace wherever you want to spawn that portal, trace and check if you get a hit from those scene components. And if all of them gives you a hit, it means that you're having some kind of surface below this portal. So you can spawn that portal over there. But there are really different ways of doing this. I'm not gonna go too much into that. But another method I would like to discuss with you is if you go to here, I think it's called box trace. Yeah, box trace by channel. And if you look at this one, you can see that it's a trace, just like line trace, but this is more in a boxed shape. So what you could do is set the start and end position to be the same size of the portal. So imagine a box being around the portal like this, and then you're doing some kind of trace, and if you get a hit, it means that you are having enough space to spawn that portal over there. And I think this method is really easier than the other one I just discussed. But really, we are not really going to get into details on how to do this. I just want to show you this method exists, and if you want to build onto this project to do something more interesting out of it, feel free to try out this method as well. Box trace by channel. And yeah, so however, we are going to have focus on something else next. Now we know how to spawn in portals and shoot and spawn in red and blue one. Next, I want to show you how you can create portals using Niagara, the Niagara system. It's a pretty cool one. So that's what we are going to have focus on next. So thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.